Hello viewers, my name is Adam.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is Seeking Media Productions. And in this video, we're doing something that's been a long time coming.
Of course, we're talking about really listing off how we feel about the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Looking back at it, it was like coming to put this list together, it was a little bit very hard, not to refer to how we feel about the whole series overall.
A little bit it was. You can't go into any listing of videos of about grouping them in for who's good and who's bad without having a little bit of personal taste for it. And
a lot of it was to try and say, how does one movie stack up against another when, let's all be face it, depending on how you feel about the films, a general consensus is that they are like conveyor belt movies.
They're right off the assembly line.
And whether you want to take that, take it as a grain of salt, you probably left the video off already.
And that's fair. I'm not going to say anything against them. Fine. If people have their personal taste. You like the Marvel movies that's coming out, fine. That's wonderful. Great. Good on you.
They're successful films.
They are. I find myself liking maybe a few of them here and there. But for so many of them, especially with as many of them comes out these years, I just the T is not even the word anymore.
The MCU basically shifted the whole dynamic and cinema going experience to the point that once there's a movie that's dated, the whole studio, the whole industry revolves around where should we put our movies in just so we don't have to compete with the next big Marvel film.
But without further ado, let's go ahead and go into this list and see which ones fare on the lighter end and which ones are just deep in the dark.
We're basing it off our own review rating system, but full disclosure, if you are watching our videos before this, I would like you to hit like, share, subscribe. Because we need the people to get attention out there that there's other content, and we want to help out and express our show you
guys some new stuff out there. Please hit that little notification, that little bell, and we'll show you more content.
All right,
but let's get into it.
So as you can see on this list, there are 2 Thor movies here.
I have said it multiple times on this on this channel. I do not like the Thor films. At least I don't like what they've done with the Thor character, with his mythos, with his storyline. I'm not a fan. They've completely turned that character into a complete joke. He's not at all of what I expected him to be as far as his comic book counterpart. It's one thing to take the magic and the mysticism out of that particular character to translate him into the cinematic universe and in general, but it's a totally different thing when you just turn him to literally he's a laughing stock. I like laughter, I like having my jokes, but I feel as though with the Thor films and Thor's character in general, it's just too much.
His films are inconsistent and tone-wise, and I feel as though with this character, you feel as though that they clearly did not know how to adapt this character onto screen. And it just shows from 3 attempts. And also on this list, in the bad section, Iron Man 3, which is just a complete... same thing with what we just talked about with Thor, is a complete throwaway of what the character stands for.
Specifically the character of the main villain. I get it. There was some... There was some particular bias going into it, thinking dealing with how the Asian audience, specifically the Chinese audience, would have felt with a character called the Mandarin being used in that particular sense. But that definitely wasn't the way to do it.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp song here because it's forgettable.
Yeah, I honestly didn't really care for that movie at all.
And it shows in the box office.
Yeah, because like I said, you're bringing forward... that movie was also bringing forward another prominent female character for the cinematic universe to use, and they just...
she was okay in the role, it's just that the film just wasn't... After Infinity War, it was one of the worst films to show off.
So small scale. No pun intended.
Now we're in the okay section. You see that this is the biggest section on this list, and we're not going. This video will be so long if we discuss each one.
Oh.
But right now, right off the bat, you see that a major film that came out last year, Endgame, is at the top of the okay list. Mainly because it is a combination of it all. But the reason why it's okay mainly is because it falls short on the promise of what Infinity War
was going to be. I mean,
like,
that movie, at least the 2-part movies, blew its load in that first film. That was it. And then for the mass majority of Endgame, most of what was necessary to watch happens, I think, at the last 30 or 40 minutes.
Last 30 minutes. Like, the main problem with that film is how small scale it decided to come right after a galaxy trotting movie that actually expressed the epicness of which the Marvel Cinematic Universe strives to be.
Mm-hmm.
But you do the exact opposite, and you come out very lacking and satisfied, and to the point the last 30 minutes of that film, like, to us, it just wasn't enough.
As it is, Endgame just was. It was okay. I liked it. It was you can't help it, but it was ending off the first part of the major story that Marvel Cinematic Universe was trying to tell, and it somewhat sums up some of it, but this execution was just really shoddy.
And other films that's in the okay section, the 2 Spider-Man films, that's like...
Well, let's take a moment to talk about that.
I can't with the Spider-Man.
I've said it before. These movies, the Spider-Man character, I liked him when he was introduced in the Civil War, but afterwards, when he was actually had his own quote-unquote spin-off movies, it's nothing but Iron Man's shadow. I like Tom Holland. He's a cool guy. I think if he was given the chance to actually tell the story around his way, maybe we can get something out of this Spider-Man. But as it stands, this particular Peter Parker is just not my cup of tea.
Spider-Man, in retrospect, stories are very small in scale. And something that I don't feel as though, especially in this case with how the MCU portrayed it, is something that carries over to movies or going to theaters.
No, it really doesn't. Spider-Man's stories are just not that big enough to stand on their own cinematically.
Like, the character is.
The character's larger than life, that's true. But I always felt as though Spider-Man's stories could have been told on the television.
Guardians of the Galaxies, both the films are on the okay section, maybe because of similar reasons of the Thor, because like they're totally inconsistent.
Yeah, they're totally inconsistent, but at the same time, they are slightly kind of better than the Thor movies in a way.
Yeah, it's a weird situation where I like the characters.
Yeah.
But I don't like the films.
Not really.
It's just, they're like, please take a moment to take some things seriously.
Yeah.
Like, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is higher on this section because it was getting to the very last minute, though.
Yeah, it was the last minute, and it does start, like, when there's drama in the movie, they do take a moment to actually let you embrace what's dramatically going on with those characters, but quickly enough, it's thrown away so they can have another quick laugh.
It was this point on the okay list, though. Captain Marvel. You know, we had the review from Wonder Woman in this channel, and
here's my thing. I don't know if Captain Marvel was ever going to get to the same level as a Wonder Woman. I mean, let's just say even her comic books don't really get that.
They don't translate well either to the audience.
Here's my thing. I feel as though the best interpretation of Captain Marvel that I've personally seen was on the Earth's Mightiest Ventures.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, it's right. Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They did. I loved that version of Carol Danvers, and wow, why couldn't they just use that template and move forward, or at least do something that was kind of like it? I mean, it's not like I don't like their version of Captain Marvel. I think she's cool. I like
Brie Larson as
the
the character, despite some controversy that I don't really understand.
Yeah, that's true.
But the movie itself, one, is too small scale. It's supposed to be in the backdrop of a war, but it decided to take place on Earth. But it's just that a lot of that film falls flat.
And that's probably because they kind of tried to build it up as if it was going to be like what you had to see in order to understand what was going to go forward in Endgame. I was like, y'all didn't make good on that promise. And she was barely in Endgame.
I'm pretty sure if you made it to this point in the video, you're probably stirring up some hate, or you probably agree. But remember, this is our list.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to agree with us, but this is our video of ranking. And so let's start getting some more reviews up, probably with the good section here. As you will see, that a movie that I'm pretty sure a lot of people would consider as probably just okay and probably even bad is The Incredible Hulk is on this list. Why we put The Incredible Hulk on our list is because we kind of recognize it as a good standalone film with solid direction. Good. It's actually it was the first to introduce the Hulk smash aspect to phrases, and it felt like a traditional Hulk film, Hulk story.
Yeah, I was engaged. I loved it. What else is on here?
Like I said, Iron Man, which some of
you can't help but like that Iron Man. I mean, that's one that kicked off this whole thing to begin with.
Yeah, it's very understandable. Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. brings to the.
He was the best option to choose for Iron Man. He was a perfect Tony Stark. I love Robert Downey Jr.'s interpretation of him. I liked the story. It was cool, engaging. It was fresh, and I mean, it's really hardly anything else you really need to say against that.
I know. And the only reason it's not a great film is because of the rewatchability of the mere fact that you gotta recast Terrence Howard as Don Cheadle.
I'm still a little sore about that. And there's a whole bunch of connotations that goes with that one in general. I mean,
and as you can see, Black Panther is in the good section.
We're not all monsters now, are we?
I know. It's actually one of the few video reviews that we have in the MCU. But Black Panther, a lot of what we said in that video is kind of it still stands. We still consider it a good film, but it's a good film
audially. Yeah,
if you listen to it.
Yeah, those visual effects are still a major eyesore.
Doctor Strange is on this list as well in the good section, but that's Iron. Maybe because structurally it's Iron Man, so it kind of defaults there.
Well, quote unquote magic. Not really. It's still pseudoscience.
I don't know. It's how that situation is.
Look, the biggest thing with Doctor Strange is that I wish most of the movie was the first 40 minutes completely.
Yes.
And they lose it at some point.
And, Age of Ultron is actually, we're good. That's probably controversial on this list because the first Avengers film, I wish that we started the channel when that film came out.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, the only reason the Avengers films is most of okay is because the first film is just a television movie in theaters.
It really was. I mean, yeah, they had good. It gets points for bringing everybody together cohesively and actually making it work, but its execution of it, at least visually, makes it look as though I could have just sat at home and watched this.
Yes.
And
Josh Whedon, it's not his second. By that time, it wasn't his second time. It was his second time having a theatrical film because he directed Serenity.
Yeah, you're right.
But it makes no sense when the budget you had.
And that's what you kick out on the floor.
No, luckily with Age of Ultron, he did have on the production front at least. He stepped up cinematically.
Yeah.
Now Age of Ultron is still structurally the same film as Avengers with some new characters thrown out there. Unfortunately, Avengers Age of Ultron falls in the same trap as Iron Man 2 when it does it's too busy set up for other films. But solid in its own right is good because I feel as though it is an improvement cinematically compared to the first Avengers film.
Yep.
But we're here with the best three, which at this point is the great list.
Yeah.
And what you see here, right that I want to talk about how much the one consistent film franchise that got better over time is the Captain America franchise.
Oh my god, I love it.
Captain America: First Avenger is in the okay section, and because it is a film of it, like it was basically the first, only old-fashionedly made film.
Yeah.
Like I liked it a lot when it came
You liked
out.
it way more than I did. I only liked aspects of that film, specifically Red Skull.
Chris Evans grows as this character.
He really does.
And he has the strongest films. I'm like to know how much the input he has on when he's showing portraying the Captain America in his own right. The scripts though, the Russo brothers is also a good reason why these films have succeeded. In fact, I actually look at it. Russo brothers are three of the Russo brothers films. Infinity War and both the Captain America movies are on this list because they are the best directors the MCU have been able to direct the films for.
Yeah, those guys know their stuff. They know how to work those characters. They know how to tell a good story and direct the eye and the storyline cinematically.
They're clearly the Captain America films and Infinity War. They show what the MCU can be about. And
what it should be about. Why weren't these guys doing the full franchise?
They're too busy doing Community, that's why.
You're right. As it stands, though, I mean, it always comes down to the best film on that the cinematic universe has to offer. In our opinion,
It's Winter Soldier.
They have yet to break that ceiling. It's so good.
Going forward, though, I'm still not knowing where the direction is for the MCU as of right now is.
I mean, some people think it's going to be talking about the Secret Wars. Others think
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, you're right. Secret Invasion with the Skrulls. Other individuals thinking they're finally really going to bring in the whole Fantastic Four deal, and you're going to finally get the MCU's best villain, freaking Doctor Doom, or
hopefully,
maybe at least Galactus.
We don't know. We don't even know when the X-Men will come out.
Yeah, when that.
I think the New Mutants should probably be the backdoor pilot.
If the New Mutants are good.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it will be. I don't know.
That poor film.
It needs so much help.
But it's right now it's a very up in the air situation, especially since they're now want to do TV series folding into the films.
But as is, that's our list. That's where a lot of these movies stand, and hopefully they can definitely move up from there.
Yes. Hopefully that this wasn't too much of a controversial list. That we can probably have some nice, good, respectful, spirited discussions down below in the comment section.
But we always want to hear from you guys. Please, yet again, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification, and we'll be here. I'm Aaron.
My name is Adam.
And that's it.
Yeah.
See you guys.